How do you know if a man is truly serious about you, or if he's just enjoying your time, energy, and emotions with no real intentions? And what do you do when he says he's committed, but for 11 years, there's been no ring or no plan? We're answering two big questions that hit close to the heart because your time, your love, and your future deserve clarity. You're listening to Love Journey, dating and relationship talk for women who love God and want a love that will last. I'm your host, Elana Patton. Welcome to Love Journey. Hey, my sisters, welcome back to the Love Journey podcast. This is episode 9, and this one is one of those heart-to-heart episodes that you're not going to want to miss. Because these two questions, how to spot a serious man and what to do when you've waited for years for a proposal, speak directly to the need for clarity in relationships. Now, staying in a relationship that isn't moving towards marriage can cost you peace, time, and emotional security. But when you have wisdom from God and clear steps, you won't waste another day second-guessing yourself. If you're new here, welcome to the sisterhood. Every episode of Love Journey is rooted in God's Word and designed to help you prepare for love that will last. From personal healing to partner selection to building godly relationships. We're not here to settle for almost relationships or half-hearted connections. We're here to walk in wisdom, faith, and truth so you can love from a whole heart. Before we jump in, I have a few housekeeping items I want to attend to. First, I want to say thank you. Our Love Journey family is growing, and I want you to know that I see you. You guys are tuning in from all across the country, California to New York, Georgia to Texas, and I'm even happy to say that we have sisters listening to us in France and Singapore. I can't tell you how thankful I am to you for being a part of this journey. And I want you to know that you are not alone in this season, and I am so honored to walk with you. The questions we're answering today come from our community, and although I have their permission to feature their questions on the show, I have taken steps to protect their privacy. And lastly, this show is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and it isn't a substitute for professional coaching, counseling, therapy, legal, or pastoral advice. So please use your discretion and make sure to seek qualified help for your specific situation. All right, I think we've talked about everything. Let's get into it. Our first question comes from a listener in Georgia, and she asks, how do you know when a man is serious and not just stringing you along? Let's be real. There are a lot of people out there that are saying one thing and doing another. And that kind of confusion can lead you to have even more questions like, can I trust this connection? Is this safe for my heart? And am I going to waste another year hoping for something that may never happen? All of these questions are valid. And from my experience, both personal and professional, when a man is serious about you and your relationship, he is going to make sure that you know it. And that all your questions, those that are spoken and unspoken, are answered. I believe seriousness shows up as clarity and consistency. And I want to share with you 4 markers of a serious man. Here's what to look for when trying to tell if a man you're dating is serious. Clarity. He will define the relationship. He's not playing any games. He's not being vague about, let's see, I don't know, maybe one day. None of that. This brother is willing to talk about exclusivity. He's willing to talk about his future plans, and he's clear on what he sees for your future. There is no guessing with this guy. You will never have to read his mind because he is going to make sure that you know how and what he's thinking. Another marker of a serious man is consistency. His words match his actions. If he's telling you, I'm calling you at 7 p.m., then he's calling you at 7 p.m. And if he's saying to you, I'm going to do something for you, I'll be there for you, he will be there. Why? because he's trying to build trust. And being consistent is a way of building trust. He wants you to know that he's serious about your heart. Number 3, costly choices. Commitment costs. And if done biblically, love, relationships, and marriage all require sacrifice and putting others' needs before your own. And a man who is serious about his commitment to you is going to put your needs before his. He's going to move with you in mind. And then lastly, community. When a man is serious about you, he's going to welcome you in to his community. Everybody's going to know who you are to him. And likewise, he is going to want to be welcome into yours. If a guy avoids your people but wants access to your heart, that should be a red flag. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 13 that love is something you can see. Patience when plans change. Kindness under tension. Honesty when lying would be easier. And real sacrifice. If his choices don't show patience, honesty, and sacrifice, it's not love. It's lip service. So look for love you can point to. James 1:5 says, ask God for wisdom, and he will give it to you. And then act on it. If there's lots of talk but no movement, that's double-mindedness, not direction. In Matthew 7:15-20, Jesus says that we will know them by their fruit. And promises and chemistry aren't fruit. Consistent outcomes are. Clarity, follow-through, choices that honor God when no one is watching. That's good fruit. Now that you have this information, you need a plan so you can get into action. Here's what I suggest. Write out what serious looks like to you. Create a list of 5 or 7 behaviors that represent a man who is serious about you and the relationship. Then put a checkpoint on the calendar. Maybe it's 60 days or 90 days. And then decide whether you progress or part ways. Remember, a serious man moves in clarity and consistency. Commitment isn't just a feeling, it's something that he does. He'll define the relationship, follow through, repair after there's been a conflict, and make costly choices that prioritize you and honor God. And the opposite is just as telling. If months pass with no definition, no next steps, that's not seriousness, that's convenience. Thanks for the question, and I really hope that helped. Our second question comes from a listener in Maryland, and she writes, we've been dating for 11 years, and when I bring up engagement and marriage, my boyfriend says it wouldn't make a difference. He's committed, and there's no need to rush. What should I do? She goes on to say, I've known for a long time that I want to marry him. He says he understands my perspective, but feels indifferent to marriage right now, partly because years ago we agreed to wait. He believes in marriage, he has healthy models of marriage in his family, but still, every time I bring it up, there is no movement, and I'm growing resentful and insecure as others around me get engaged. I don't want to give him an ultimatum, but I feel stuck, and I'm starting to question his feelings and our future. First of all, neither of you is wrong. He's not wrong for not wanting more right now, and you're not wrong for wanting marriage. But your feelings of resentment and insecurity are telling you something, that your heart is carrying a load it wasn't meant to carry indefinitely. Let me ask you a clarifying question, and be honest. What would you do if you knew he would not marry you? If the truthful answer is, I couldn't stay, then you've just located your boundary. Amos 3:3 says, can 2 walk together unless they agree? Dating is supposed to be 2 people walking in the same direction. If your next step is marriage and his next step is stay the same, you're not in agreement about direction or timing. This mismatch will be a source of tension in your relationship and in your heart. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, God is not the author of confusion. If your months or years are marked by confusion and circular conversation, that's a sign to return to order and peace. God's way doesn't require you to live in constant emotional limbo or confusion. James 1:5 says, "Ask for wisdom and then act on it." In your situation, wisdom looks like naming your value, marriage, and then setting a clear path and making a clear decision if the path isn't mutual. Now, in your message, you shared that you feel stuck, and you mentioned that every time you bring up the topic, there is no movement. What you need is a plan that will help you express your needs and move you forward. Here's what I would suggest. Number 1, pray and journal. Write your honest answer to the question I asked earlier. What would I do if I knew he wouldn't marry me? Now, I want you to take your time with this. Spend a couple of days thinking over this and praying over this and asking God for wisdom and courage because you really want to know what you would do. Number 2, name your non-negotiable. If marriage is essential for you, then you need to say so without apology. Number 3, you need to have a clarity conversation. Now, this is going to sound strange because we don't have conversations like this, but in healthy relationships, partners have to learn how to communicate what's on their heart in a way that their partner can hear, understand, and then take action on. So, here is what I would suggest. A clarity conversation is a conversation that has no threats, no drama, just the truth. An example would be, I'm grateful for our years together. I value marriage and I want to move toward it. The next step I need is a mutual plan for engagement and premarital counseling. If we can't agree on that, then I'll need to release this relationship with love and peace. Expressing your needs to him in this fashion will get his attention. And no, this is not an ultimatum. You are not demanding that he marry you. Instead, you are sharing your needs and seeking clarity to determine the direction of your relationship. Number 4, honor whatever truth emerges. If after having this conversation, he says no or stays indifferent, then believe him. Indifference is an answer. You can close this chapter without making him the villain and without abandoning yourself. And then, finally, number 5, support your heart. Loop in trusted, godly voices for prayer and practical support. People who can be there to support you if you have to part ways. When your path is marriage and his path is not now, wisdom invites you to choose clarity and kindness so your heart can live in peace and truth. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully, you can see how clarity in dating and relationship beats confusion every time. And if you have a question that you want answered on the show, email me at hello@lovejourneypodcast.com. Now tune in next week to find out how to avoid letting feelings and chemistry cloud your judgment when dating. Now remember, God's way isn't always the quickest, but it is the way that leads to love that lasts. I'm cheering you on, always.